Are you ready to talk about some crazy, quirky products and get your questions answered? If you have an invention, stay tuned. We're going to talk with Bear and Nagy at Quirky in just a moment. I'm super excited for tonight's show. I say that a lot, but I really am because I can totally geek out with my geekness on this episode. So Bear and Nagy of Quirky.com, who helps inventors get their products brought to the market. And there's some crazy products we're going to talk about. He's going to join us in just a moment. First, I want to tell you about our sponsors. And the first sponsor is Ovaleye. Ovaleye TV hosts and produce live video events for your upcoming promotion, interview, conference, or whatever you want to market. Visit ovaleye.tv to request a free 30-minute consultation to find out more about going live with your brand. And so I want to talk about some news really quick. Our former guest that was on the show, Julie Boucher, excuse me, of Slausa. Okay, so this is Slausa. I keep a jar because I talk about it all the time. It's the gourmet topping for everything, literally, and it's very good on your hot dogs or whatever you want to put it on. Ice cream. You can choose anything. So Slausa, Julie Boucher is a marketing genius, and she was an entrepreneur at the end of 2012. She just featured by Rachel Ray, and today she put out a press release that's super awesome. She is now being represented by Kenny Wallace, who's a NASCAR driver, and he's also a host on the Speed Channel. And Kenny Wallace, why this is exciting is not only is this awesome guy promoting Slausa, which is a perfect market for her product, but he's doing it in a way to show that small businesses like hers can get these endorsements by working with these people, because people like Kenny know small businesses need help, just as anybody else does. So congrats to Julie for getting Kenny. This is an awesome partnership. I can't wait to see where it goes. Because the photo that was on the press release, he had like jars of Slausa all around him. It was crazy. So that's awesome. Go to slausa.com and
that's NASCAR?
Yeah, NASCAR. And he's a host on Speed Channel. It's Slawsome. That's what Julie says. And anyways, I also wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple people that left some reviews last week on our iTunes video. Ducks in a Row, Sam at Willow23, and Mona Weiss from Econuts. Thanks for leaving me a review. I really appreciate it. If you're watching live, there's a link on the side to leave a review. If you're listening to this after the fact, smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com has a link to our iTunes channel, so please leave us a review because the ratings do matter. And I want to talk to Bear now because there's a whole bunch of geekly exciting things to get started talking about. He's laughing just every time I say the word geek. So welcome, Bear, and thanks for joining me tonight.
Hey, it's a real pleasure, Chris. I'm glad to be on the show.
Thank you. So start off by telling us, for those who don't know exactly what Quirky does, a little bit about yourself and what Quirky does for inventors.
Absolutely. So Quirky, I guess in a nutshell, is a social product development company. The basic idea is that we want to get individual people, consumers, involved in a meaningful way in the product development process, and help them contribute to the products that they're buying on shelves, and then to get paid for those contributions. My role at Quirky is as a content manager and a community manager. So I spend a lot of my day talking to inventors and community members. We have about 400,000 people on the site, essentially, what people do is submit ideas for any kind of consumer product to the site. Whether they've fully developed it with a prototype or just have basic sketch and a napkin, and they submit it to the site for $10, and that's the only money that we ever ask them to pay. And we have an online community who then will review the ideas, they vote on them, give their feedback, and help us pick the best ones that bubble up to the top that we can then pick for development. And then we have a collaborative development platform where our design staff works with our community, and they collaborate to finalize the design. They do the branding, the naming, the tagline, the color, and the finished product, once it's launched and then reaches retail shelves, is sold, and a portion of all the proceeds go to every single person who contributed to that product, whether you're the inventor or to someone who filled out a market research survey. So the basic idea is letting these people get involved with product development without having to spend a lot of time or a lot of money, and just doing whatever they want to be able to do and what they love.
And you guys clearly state on the website, on Quirky.com, for the products, how well it's doing, so you know what's doing good. So if someone were to submit their product for $10, get it, start the manufacture process going, is there a flat, I guess, percentage that the inventor gets, or does that vary per product?
It does vary, but it's all based on a very structured mathematical system. Essentially, every time we sell a product in a store, through an indirect retailer, 10% of that revenue coming in will go to the community members who contributed to that product. And whenever we sell a product directly through our own website, 30% of that revenue goes to the community members. So through all the different revenue streams, it's combined into one pot, and then all community members who worked in a product have a certain, what we call an influence percentage. And so, for example, the inventor will get 42% influence in their product, and that's 42% of all money coming in. So it generally comes out to about 10% per inventor, but that number can go up and down, or well, actually it's really just up if, for example, you do more work on your product and we don't have to do a community, let's say a community design phase, because you have a fully finished prototype, then we won't do it, and we'll give a higher percentage to the inventor for that work. And so the system is flexible, but it's designed to be flexible in the interest of fairness, because every product is different when it's coming through the site. Very
cool. And I've seen, I think his name is Ben, the CEO or owner or founder of Quirky. He's been on Leno a few times recently. Are you guys like partnering up with Leno, or what's going on? Because you guys keep going on there with all these cool products.
No, it's not an official partnership, at least not yet. I mean, we know that Jay is a big motorcycle enthusiast, and we have some motorcycle-related products that we're developing, so we'd love to get him involved. But it's mostly just to talk about all of these incredible ideas that people are submitting, both the good ones and the bad ones, because it really is an incredible story to see all of these different ideas and where they came from and how people came up with them.
And on Leno, you guys demonstrated some of these good and bad products. We can show some of the good products. I'm assuming the bad ones are no longer on the website.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that the ones that the bad ones were not ultimately picked for development. So they were, an idea when it's submitted by an inventor is online for 30 days, after which it can either be moved under consideration and moved closer towards being developed, or it will be expire, and we'll give them some tips for maybe beefing it up and adding some more, refining the design and then resubmitting it. So I think the bad ones would not be on the site anymore, unfortunately. But hopefully, they'll resubmit them, make them better, and they'll slide into the good category.
Well, I have a ton of questions, so I'm going to try and I guess ask them in a nice flow that isn't jumping all over the place. But because I work with small business owners that have products in every phase. So idea, do patents. So do you have a set, I guess, starting point for a inventor to come to you? Does it need to be a drawing? Does it need to be a prototype? Or does it go anywhere in between?
Literally anywhere in between. We've had inventors come to us who have a fully developed prototype. They have a patent on their product, and they just can't really get it to market, because the Quirky system is fully comprehensive, from the beginning of the design process all the way to retail, and you can enter at any point. So some people have brought fully finished products to us that we've then refined a little bit. We've tweaked the design, modernized the design, and put it on the market as pretty much the same product, and of course they'll get a higher percentage for that. Or we have inventors who come to us without even a sketch. They may not even know how the product would work. For example, you may just say, "Oh, I have an idea for a solar-powered cell phone charger. And I'm not an electrical engineer. I don't understand solar cells, but I think this would be great." And that's the beauty of the Quirky platform, that no one person is expected to be able to do it all. And so we have an online platform where they can be linked up with our design staff, our engineers, people in the community who may be electrical engineers and want to pitch in. And so you don't need to go it alone and know how to do everything to submit the product. But if you do and you want to submit it, then that's great too.
That's good. So any process along the way that you're in, you can go to Quirky. I have a question in the live chat from Jennifer. What's the risk of submitting a product idea to Quirky? If you have a cool idea, am I risking anything by submitting it to the site?
Well, there is some risk in that it's a public communal site, and we don't require people to sign an NDA. It's not private. It's a communal process. And so a lot of people ask, if I submit my idea on Quirky, will it get stolen? And will someone, take it and try to develop somewhere else? And the honest answer is, we'll pursue copyright violations and plagiarism very aggressively. But an idea can be tweaked a little bit, and then find to the point where we can't prove that it was taken off the site. And so there is some risk there. But the beautiful thing about Quirky is that the submission process is so simple. You describe the problem you're trying to solve, how you want to solve it, list some key features, but you can be as descriptive or non-descriptive as you'd like. And so generally, there isn't enough information in the submission for anything to really be stolen. It's a basic concept, but it's not kind of robust description that we were required for, let's say, a patent application. So if I were an independent person and I saw your idea on the site and I wanted to make it myself, I'd have to apply for a patent. I'd have to do all the design work, find a manufacturer. It would be basically like trying to do it as an independent vendor, and which is why they came to Quirky in the first place. So we've never had an idea taken off the site. We have had a couple of our own products ripped off in other countries, but then our lawyers will pursue that. So there is some risk, but I think the process is set up to mitigate that risk as much as possible.
Okay, good answer. And in regards to patents, do you recommend that people acquire a patent before submitting, or do you help them with that process? How does the whole patent thing work? Because not everybody does it, but some people should.
Absolutely. The thing about patents is that they're not easy to get. They take time, they take money, and they're generally, from the patent submission, application to the patent approval, it can be anywhere from a year to 3 years. And so, surprisingly, very few products on Quirky are patented. We have a lawyer who specializes in patent and trademark law, and he will assess each product and determine the risk and whether it's worth applying for a patent, and whether the product has a shorter life cycle, or it's unlikely that anything would be necessarily stolen, or maybe the design or utility feature would fall into public domain and not really qualify for a patent in the first place. And so when it comes to the individual inventor, we'll never tell someone don't get a patent. If you want to get a patent, then it's certainly within your right, but it is an expensive and a time-consuming process. And so I would say the vast majority, and also you do need a very extensive amount of information on your design to apply for a patent. You can't apply for a patent on a basic idea. And so exactly. I would say the vast majority of people don't submit patents and submit patented ideas, and we don't patent all of our products either. But that being said, if you have a patent, you can absolutely submit the idea to Quirky. And if we deem that there's any risk of your idea being taken, then we will patent the product and you will be on the patent.
Good info. That's really good to know. So working with all these different inventors and entrepreneurs that have these ideas, some good, some bad, what's kind of the biggest hurdle that you see everyone face, or the toughest obstacle to overcome when it comes to this whole process?
Honestly, it's the commitment, both the commitment in time and the commitment in money. I've talked with people who have spent $150,000 on an idea, wow, only to have it go nowhere, and to spend 20 years of their life trying to get a product to the market and have it go nowhere, and there's no payoff for that. So I think that the average price cost for just the market research into applying for a patent can be up to $900. And so, yeah, if you're an independent inventor, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're a construction worker, or you're a teacher, and you have a great idea for a product, you won't be able to develop on your own unless you take out a large chunk of time and a large chunk of money to do it. And so that's why a lot of people come to Quirky, and that's why Quirky was set up the way it is. We charge a $10 submission fee, but we give out coupon codes like candy, and so it's really just a barrier to entry to prevent people from submitting joke ideas and whatnot. So we try to keep the cost minimal and the time commitment minimal, unless you want to get more involved. And so even if you have a busy life and you're strapped for cash, you can still submit your idea. It can still be developed, and you can still end up with a product that you came up with that has your face on the back, and with part of its royalty money going into your pocket.
And I read that too. Tell us a little bit about the packaging, because the person who invented it, their face is on the product, on the packaging. Well, on the packaging.
Yeah. If you turn the box around, you'll see the face of the inventor and the name of the person who invented it. We also list all of the community members who influenced the product, whether they again voted on the original idea or submitted the winning name. We list all of them, and sometimes there can be thousands, up to tens of thousands, if the product is really robust. And so we always want the consumer to know that this came from a real person, that this wasn't a faceless company developing a soulless product. This is someone's idea that they came up with themselves and they worked on, and that they're elated to have on a store shelf. That human story is really important to us.
Yes, and we have a couple questions in the chat about some products, and I like gadgets and trinkets, and I guess you could say quirky products, no pun intended. But so I want to talk about some of the actual products. I know Daniel Rensing, the Smart Baker, he talks about the pluck a lot, which sucks the yolk out of the egg, as you can see on the screen back here. Let me find some of them on here. You can tell us about some of them. Here's the Vine. Right here in the middle, it's a tiny little metal thing that you put on your wine right here in the fridge so it doesn't roll around. I mean, they're so simple, but they do so much. And then I think this is probably one of the most popular ones, the citrus spritzer, the stem.
Yep.
So you literally poke it in a piece of fruit and it sprays out the juice from that fruit.
No one believed that the stem would work. Let me tell you, even at Quirky, it was submitted by Timothy Houle, who's an agricultural engineer. But he got the idea back in college when he was working in a Mexican restaurant, and he had to squeeze lemon and lime juice onto tortilla chips. And he said, "This is hard. There should be a way to do this more easily and to spread it more evenly." So he prototyped it himself. He got the spritzer head for I think a generic spray bottle, and a weird straw attachment that's used to drink juice directly from an orange, like on a Tropicana box. He managed to combine them and sent us the prototype. Showed it to us in the video, and no one thought that this idea would work. I think a lot of people have tried sticking a straw in an orange and just found that it obviously doesn't do anything. But the thing works like a charm. You just stick it in, you start spritzing, and the juice comes out in an even spray. So that's a great example of an inventor who did a lot of work on that product, and had really brought it all the way to prototyping by the time we submitted it.
That's very cool. And I know this one's a big one too, is the Pivot Power Strip. And I'm sure you guys have seen this. It's everywhere on Pinterest, everywhere. It's just everywhere. So it's a power strip that pivots around. So when you have these giant plugins, you can plug them all in. Simple.
Yeah, that is definitely our most popular product, and one of our first. Actually, it was invented by a mobile software developer who just identified a problem. He said power strips can't fit bulky adapters. How can we solve for that? He submitted an idea for a flexible power strip. Our design staff came up with a whole bunch of ways that could be done, and the community picked their favorite, and it turned into Pivot Power. And now I think Jake is also the inventor with the highest payout so far. I think he made about $300,000 in a year after that went to market, and it's still selling well. So
wow.
he'll be making that hopefully for some time to come.
And this is seriously like a techie or a nerd's dream, just to go on this website. Like, you could literally just add everything to your cart. I'm sorry, this is really cool. You just go shopping on one website for everybody, for kitchen, for housewares, for electronics, for gadgets, everything.
My Christmas shopping is a breeze, I'll tell you that.
I mean, like lights for your keyboard, every kind of cord organizer. There's a mini power pivot power mini for USBs. I mean, there's everything here. This is really cool.
And we're really ramping up the number of products that we're bringing to market. I think we have about 70 on the shop right now, and we've got, I think we're going to be doubling that within the next few months is the plan. And so if you go to the Quirky website's upcoming section, which is all the products that we fully designed and are working to bring to market, you'll see a lot with we're making this badge. It means that we're in the process of sourcing the manufacturing, doing the tooling, and getting the shipping the product to stores. So if you see a product with a we're making this badge, you can trust that will be on the market sometime soon as well.
Wow, yeah, I just went to the upcoming page, and this is really neat. It's a decorative muffin topper called Bake Shapes. So you put that over your muffins when you're cooking them, and it turns them into shapes?
Absolutely, and then you can fill it. Creates a cavity, so you can fill it with berries and cream or icing. And but that was an idea that was submitted by a mom who tried to carve a muffin top by hand and couldn't do it. And so she said, there's a product solution here, and we loved it. We developed it, and it works great. It's not in the market yet, but the prototypes are working fantastic, and I think we're hoping to get that to the market before the year's out.
Wow. I'm sorry to keep going off subject here, but this one I also saw in Leno, the confettis. This is hilarious. They're birthday candles with a balloon, or I don't know if are they candles?
They are, well, they're intended to kind of to mimic candles, but essentially they're a decoration that you can put on your cake, and you light a fuse, and after a delay, the balloon will explode and spray edible confetti. And so on the one hand, it's a fun surprise to get on your cake, and on the other hand, it creates a beautiful pattern on the cake with that edible confetti when it's done. So
and it's edible, because that's what Leno said. He was like, yeah, but now you have to clean up all the stuff and you can't eat your cake. He's like, but it's edible. You just eat it.
It's an elegant solution.
So many of these are such simple solutions to just little things to make your life easy. I mean, just wow. I can't wait to see which of these take off. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the products that didn't do so well? Because these are funny. Some of them are.
It's funny. We've received a lot of, as I said, a lot of good ideas and a lot of bad ideas. We had one that was, I think this was pretty infamous on Leno, condom shorts. It was essentially latex boxer briefs with a built-in condom, and the inventor submitted it very seriously. And she brought up a very good point that normal prophylactics don't necessarily cover the full range of your body that you may be in contact with another person, and so it's providing complete protection. And so it certainly solves the problem, but I think someone brought up in the live evaluation that if you're wearing something like this, you're probably not going to be having sex in the first place, so you don't need it.
But you are always ready.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely high on the functionality end, and so that's always something that we have to consider when developing products. Is it functional? Does it solve the problem? Also, is it marketable? Because if we can't bring a product to market, the inventor doesn't make money, we don't make money, and so we always have to be very pragmatic in that sense. But,
exactly.
That's we're
hilarious.
Also very open-minded. We make every kind of product, and it's those kind of products are not out of the realm of possibility. If it's a physical consumer product, it can be submitted to Quirky.
What's the craziest product you've ever seen come across the Quirky desk?
I saw a submission from a young man. I think he was about 13 or 14, and kids can submit ideas through their parents on the site. Unfortunately, you need to be 18 to have an account, but anyone can submit an idea. And he submitted an idea for hover boots. But the reason that he submitted an idea for hover boots was because he wanted to do cooler tricks on his skateboard. And I was thinking, if I had hover boots, why would I be on a skateboard? I would be flying around on my hover boots. But this kid was so adamant about getting hover boots to do skateboard tricks. We saw another idea for a booger vacuum, or actually a lot of booger-related ideas. I think a product that would convert boogers into fuel. We had an idea, many ideas for time machines, some more serious than others. So, if you go to Quirky.com and you look through the ideas,
Oh
you'll
my
see
goodness.
you'll see an interesting spread. Let me tell you.
I have tears coming out of my eyes. So what if the guy who invented the booger vacuum teamed up with a guy that trims the nose hairs and made one device, sort of like a Flowbee for your nose?
You know what? It could be the next Snuggie. You really never know. We have one product in our shop called Bandits. That it's a rubber band with a hook on it, and when we evaled it, we evaluated it, it just barely won. And a lot of people said, well, this is ridiculous. How is this going to be a product? Our head of business development said that he would streak naked through Times Square if it became a success. A couple of years later, it's one of our best-selling products. So,
Wow, that's crazy.
even if you're in this business for years, you can always be proven wrong.
I imagine the workplace environment is never a dull moment and is just always fun because you never know what the heck crazy things are going to come through there.
You really don't. We got a great spread of people, a beautiful office. If anyone is ever in New York, you're always welcome to come by the Quirky office for a visit. We've got a beautiful design shop and photo studios, and so they really do cultivate a creative environment because they want people to be able to be themselves and really put their best foot forward for people and to be honest, which is one of those reasons why we, as you said, we share all of our financial info. We broadcast so many of our evaluation and brainstorming events. We want people to be in the office and to be a part of the community. We don't distinguish between the staff and the online community members. We're all the Quirky community.
Very cool.
That's something we emphasize.
Sounds like a great environment. So I just went over to the Crossover, which is an iPhone case that holds stuff. And you can pick your colors. This is pretty cool. I just made Small Businesses Do It Better color phone case. You just you just pick it here and it changes it for you. That's pretty cool. I want to know, you guys are on Pinterest and Instagram and you guys post a lot of creative things because you have crazy stuff coming through all the time. So how is these visual networks like Pinterest, or mainly Pinterest, probably Instagram, how has that affected or changed the way you guys market these products, or has it just helped catapult them?
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about Quirky and our especially our social media is that there are two faces to Quirky. There's Quirky, the e-commerce site where we want to sell our products to people, and then there's Quirky, the social enterprise company that wants to help people invent their ideas. And so we're really these two divergent avenues that we can pursue on social media. So for something like Pinterest, on the one hand, we can use it to share all of the great product photography that our media team puts out, and to help get a lot of these products out and have people talking about them and buying them and to help publicize them. But we can also use a tool like Pinterest for the development process. For example, using it as a community inspiration board. So if we're designing a product and people want to pin all these different products and concepts and even art piece they feel would be inspiration for a designer, we can use it for that too. And similarly, Twitter is a tool for promoting our products and for communicating with our community. And so because we are such a diverse company, we have such almost a Byzantine process. We're very complex, and we're proud of that, and okay with the disadvantages that come with that. We get to use these tools in really a lot of exciting ways, and Instagram especially too is great for not just sharing products, but again sharing the insights into what the office life is like, showing designers working on prototypes, showing what it's like to be at QHQ, because we want everyone to know everything that's going on and to feel like they're a part of the action, because they are. We couldn't, if we didn't have our community, we would be a bunch of guys sitting in a room. So we want them to fully understand that they are Quirky. They are just as important as anyone who's sitting in that office.
And you guys do a really good job of not only that, but on your website, giving a sense of community, where I'm on the Power Pivot strip right now, and on every product on the website, you list how much it took to develop, how long it's been in the store, how many units have sold, and how much has been paid out. So, for example, this Power Strip here, as you can see, a total paid out $697,000, 698 days in the store. So, there's everything is so, help everybody else out, and let's all work together to get these products out there, because they do make a big difference. Most of them.
Yeah, and we only make money when our inventors make money. Again, we don't really want to make money off of that submission fee. So it makes for a great great philosophy that we're all in it together, and we all have the same goals here, and that's getting these people's inventions out there. So we want to be open. We want people to be able to trust us, and because there's a lot of trust involved. They're trusting us with their idea.
Definitely.
These ideas that they may have put again thousands of dollars into, they've been working on for years, and we don't want to violate that trust. And we want them to know that we take this as seriously as they do, and that we've got nothing to hide from them.
Well, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I continue to be entertained by following you on every social network because I just love the products. You do have a big announcement that you guys are going to talk about tomorrow, so can you tell everybody a little tiny bit about that and where they can hear about it?
Absolutely. And so, yeah, we are announcing a really big project, a big partnership. I can't go into too much detail about the nature of the partnership, but essentially it's going to be focused on harnessing Quirky's platform and the power of that platform to develop products that may be beyond what we as an individual company could develop. And so it's going to be a big partnership that's going to mean a lot for Quirky. It's going to be announced at the press conference at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and this is going to be live stream on the Quirky site. If you go to quirky.com, if you go at 11:30, you'll see a bar at the bottom of the screen that will take you right to the live stream. But quirky.com/live is where we hold all of our broadcasts. So if you're interested in watching that, you can tune right in and see what everything's about. Because I don't think we've ever had an announcement this big.
Wow, does it have anything to do that will may enable you guys to create moon boots or time travel?
I mean, think about that, because I want to give an honest answer. Yes. Actually, I mean, I can't promise time travel, but I will say that Quirky's the kind of products that we're capable of making. There's really no limit to the technology involved and the size and scale of these products. So we want to get to the point where we're making robots, where we're making the most groundbreaking products in the world. And right now we're making some great great appliances, great tools, simple solutions, but we don't want to stop there. We want to take this to the next level and change product development eventually. And so we've got our sights set pretty high, so we're hoping that this will be a great stepping stone in that direction.
I cannot wait to hear what this announcement is. So you guys, tomorrow 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Quirky.com. They have a live press conference, so check that out. You guys are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all /Quirky. So check them out there. Baron, I want to thank you so much for talking with me tonight. You had such great information for all these people with ideas to get their ideas to market and get them sold and get it into a real product. So thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Hey, it was a pleasure and a privilege.
Thank you. That was so exciting. Okay, so I cannot wait to hear what this big announcement is tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern on Quirky.com. And wow, I can't wait to hear, because it's already exciting as it is, let alone something huge. So next week, you can join us Tuesday, same time, same place, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern on smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com. Our guest is Nellie Akalp of CorpNet. She's the founder CEO of CorpNet. They do legal document services for small businesses, which is very important for all of you. You can sit on your butt from your home in your pajamas and incorporate or do whatever you want. So stay tuned, and you can watch all these episodes and this one again at smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com. So thank you very much for joining me tonight.